Some choices feel harmless because they come wrapped in happiness, but life does not pause for celebrations. And sometimes the moments we skip quietly become the moments that define us forever. This is the story of a son who chose memories over responsibility and returned home with nothing but reports and regret. Rahil's marriage had been everything he dreamed of. The wedding was beautiful, the guests were happy, and the future felt bright. Just 2 days after the ceremony, he and his wife were supposed to leave for their honeymoon. Tickets were booked months ago. Everyone was excited. It felt like the perfect beginning to a new life. In all that excitement, the phone rang with news Rahil didn't want to hear. His father had been admitted to the hospital due to chest pain. Doctors said it was serious but stable. Rahil visited briefly, held his father's hand, and promised to come back soon. "It's nothing," his father said weakly, forcing a smile. "Go enjoy, don't cancel your plans." Rahil wanted to believe those words. He told himself hospitals exaggerate, that his father had always been strong, that this was just bad timing. His wife stood quietly beside him, unsure what to say. Friends advised him not to ruin the honeymoon. "You'll regret canceling," they said. Rahil convinced himself that everything would be fine for a few days. After all, doctors were there, nurses were there. He kissed his father's forehead, said he'd call every day, and left. The honeymoon began beautifully. Beaches, photos, laughter, late nights. Rahil tried to relax, but his phone stayed close. He called his father once or twice, but the conversations were short. His father sounded tired but calm. "Enjoy yourself," he kept saying. Rahil slowly allowed himself to believe that choosing happiness wasn't wrong. On the third day, a doctor tried calling Rahil. The phone was on silent. Another call came, then another. Rahil was swimming, laughing, disconnected from everything that mattered. By the time he checked his phone hours later, there were missed calls and a message asking him to call back urgently. His heart raced as he dialed, but the line went unanswered. Later that night, he finally received the call. His father had been discharged earlier that day because he insisted on going home. He didn't want to be a burden.
He said his son was away and he didn't want to worry anyone.
On the way home, walking slowly on the roadside, his body gave up. He collapsed before reaching the house. By the time help arrived, it was too late. Rahil felt the ground disappear beneath him. The honeymoon ended in silence. The return journey felt endless. Every moment replayed in his mind. The hospital room, the forced smile, the words, "Go enjoy." He realized how easily he had accepted permission to leave, how quickly he had chosen comfort over care. When Rahil reached home, there was no father waiting. The house was quiet, untouched, almost respectful in its stillness. Relatives spoke softly, avoiding his eyes. No one blamed him openly, which made it worse. In his father's room, Rahil found a small stack of hospital papers placed neatly on the table. Reports, prescriptions, discharge notes. That was all that remained of his father's last days. Rahil sat on the bed holding those papers, realizing that while he was creating memories, his father was fighting silently. While he was laughing for photos, his father was choosing not to disturb him. While he was collecting moments, his father was letting go. In the days that followed, Rahil changed. He stopped looking at honeymoon pictures. He avoided celebrations. He understood now that memories mean nothing if they are built on absence. That moments do not wait for convenience. That some visits cannot be postponed. Some calls cannot be missed, and some choices cannot be corrected. His father never asked him to stay. He never demanded priority, and that was the tragedy. Love had stepped aside, trusting understanding, and understanding had mistaken silence for safety. Rahil learned too late that life doesn't measure us by the joy we chase, but by the responsibilities we show up for. He had chosen happiness for a week and lost a lifetime of forgiveness. Life lesson: never choose memories over moments that truly matter. Celebrations can be postponed, but presents cannot. Some regrets arrive quietly and stay forever.